welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a first impression review and wear test on this interesting foundation concealer here. This is the MAC Studio Fix All Over Face Pen. It's supposed to be a concealer foundation in one. I've actually had this for quite a long time, just sitting in my bin waiting to be tested, and so many foundations came out that it kind of got pushed aside. I saw that this finally released in the US, so I decided to get my butt in gear, do a first impression on this. So that's what we'll be doing today. I'll be going over details of this foundation while I apply it, as well as doing a 4-hour check-in outside in natural daylight, inserting in some swatches, and then an end of day just wrap up final thoughts, first impression. I do always come back on any of my first impressions afterwards after 4 to 6 weeks and just give a more detailed review. So while this is a first impression, make sure you're subscribed so you can see just more detailed thoughts once I do try this out a few more times other than today. So that's going to be today's video. So now I'm just going to scoot you in a little bit closer, apply this to my face together, and go over the details of this foundation. So I pinned my hair back. I do have brows and eyes on just to save a little bit of time, and I'm ready to try out this foundation. I'm not really sure what to expect here. It doesn't have a specific application method, so I think that I'm gonna go in first with a brush and then maybe smooth it over with a sponge. That's usually the best way to just test it out first. But this is $35. It comes in 33 shades, and it's supposed to be like a click-up pen. I haven't even opened this yet. It's actually a lot bigger than I was anticipating. So this has 0.41 fluid ounces, almost half an ounce, so about half the size of a standard foundation, but definitely more than a concealer. Here it is compared to my hand here, just for size comparison. And let's see, because you're supposed to click it. Okay, so it has like a little stopper. I don't know if I'm gonna save that or not. I'll just put that aside. And it says half a click for concealer and then 1 click for foundation. Oh, it's a twist click. Oh, okay, so it has an on off here twist, and then I'm gonna twist it on and then click it. I got the shade NC20. That's the shade that I wear in the MAC Water Weight foundation. So I decided to go with the same shade, and let's just see here. I'm gonna try and, there it goes. Okay, so I can see it come out, and that's 1 full pump. I don't know if that's gonna be enough. We're gonna try. I'm gonna just take my buffer brush here, work it into the foundation. Yeah, so it already soaked up all of it. There's no way this is gonna go all over my face here. I'm just gonna kind of try and spread it out as much as I can, because this is supposed to be medium to full coverage. It's supposed to be buildable with a natural matte finish. That is my favorite type of finish. I have normal leaning dry skin, and I live in a pretty, I wouldn't say it's too humid, too dry here, so pretty average just all the way around. Most foundations tend to work for me because of my skin type, and I don't have too many blemishes. I actually have like a few here, which is out of the ordinary for me, but I got about half my face maybe with this. I don't know, I'm gonna go in with another full click here, I think. So here's just another full click. I don't even know how you'd get half a click out of this, quite honestly. And I go pretty light-handed with foundation. Usually I only use 1 pump, but I don't feel like a click, what they're calling it, is even a full pump if it was like a pump foundation. This is much better now. Okay, so I think you'd have to go in with at least 2 clicks to get any kind of face coverage. And I'm spreading this out. It does spread out really nice. This is supposed to have a 36-hour wear time, so it's long wearing, and it is supposed to be waterproof and sweat-proof. I think that this kind of applicator's pretty unique. Honestly, that's why I picked it up. I was kind of intrigued by it. I think that they're kind of gearing this more towards like travel friendly, because it's very much like conceal, click and go. And it is, it's a great, I could see that being great for travel to throw in your makeup bag if you're someone who likes to get ready in the car before work, etc. this could be really great. And this is looking pretty nice, actually. I'm gonna just try and conceal a little bit more. I didn't use any kind of primer. I never do on a first impression, just to get like a baseline. And it is looking nice. I would say it's a little bit more than natural matte finish. I would say this is pretty much more matte, which I don't mind. It's looking nice on my pores. Now the problem with a concealer foundation is I just feel like you have to have two shades almost, especially if you're gonna highlight. I mean, maybe you don't. If you're on the go a lot, you probably don't wanna have a lot of products with you, but I'm not feeling like this is good enough for concealer if you're gonna use this as a foundation. So I think I still kind of wanna go in with a concealer, but I'm not going to for the wear test. I am going to actually just try and half click this, just like that, and go in with like a more precise concealer brush and maybe just try and spot conceal and build up under my eyes here. This is just my Rare Beauty concealer brush. So I'm gonna go in lightly and just first apply it. Okay, that's much better. It is definitely buildable. It's not creasing. Kind of clean up that eyeshadow. And I will have everything that I'm wearing listed down below: eyeshadow, any complexion products, etc. So that's looking much better. I'm quite surprised by this, actually. It's just looking a little bit powdery, a little bit dry. So I'm gonna go in with my damp sponge and just try to press it into the skin more. The shade's not bad. NC20 is more of like my winter shade. I don't have like a summer shade. So now that it's starting to warm up, it's a little bit lighter than I would want, but I'll just go in heavy with bronzer today. It'll be just fine. Using the sponge was definitely a good choice. It looks a little bit less matte. It's more matte than I would prefer. I want a natural leaning matte, but it's just like a smidge, just one notch over on the matte side versus the natural side. So we'll see, like, as the day progresses, if my natural oils kind of come through, make this look a little bit more natural. It is looking nice. My pores look nice. It's not creasing anywhere. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about the under eye concealer situation, but I'm gonna leave it for now. So let me just finish up the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna keep it pretty light since we are testing a foundation, and I will be back to just give my first impression thoughts after letting this foundation kind of sit for 10 minutes. Rest of my makeup's on, and I'm quite liking how this looks. I think that the way that I applied it specifically has a lot to do with that. So because it was looking so matte on the skin, I only used cream products: bronzer, blush, highlight. I have no powder. I didn't even set my under eyes. We're gonna see if that backfires on me, but it's feeling pretty dry. I mean, it's not tacky whatsoever, even with the creams on. So I think I went a good route to just make it look more natural, less full coverage. If I had applied powder products on top of this, I think it just would have added to a more full coverage look, which is not something I necessarily go for. So far, I'm actually really enjoying this. It really took down just that matteness with the cream products. So just, it looks really nice. I mean, I've applied a lot of highlight, to be fair, just to kind of counteract the matteness. However, first impression right now, I'm really liking it. Now, this is supposed to be a long wear foundation, so we'll see how this goes even in 4 hours, how it's looking outside. The only thing about this, I do really like the component. The only thing I can see being a problem with this is the twist on off, because I think a lot of people are going to forget to turn it on and off, and it doesn't click on and off. Like, I can barely tell when it's on and off. I'm not someone who will forget to do that, but I could see it being an issue, and it doesn't almost like lock off, it just twists. So even if this was in your bag, on the go, in your purse, I could see it almost accidentally twisting on and pumping out. I mean, you do have the lid, and let's just see, this is turned off. So I'm just gonna see if any product comes out. Yeah, okay. So let me twist it the other way now. Okay, I'm just wasting product now, but I don't think this on-off thing really works. No. So that's the only fault I see right now with this. I'm gonna just wipe this all off. I don't, 3 pumps of foundation on the back of my hand. Okay, that's the only fault I can see. My instincts were right. This on-off switch is gonna do absolutely nothing. As long as you don't keep this somewhere where it's gonna rattle around and accidentally twist, I think you're okay. But I'm gonna go on with the rest of my day, do some chores around the house, just get some things done, and I will see you all in 4 hours outside in natural daylight. It's been over 4 hours now, and this is what the foundation concealer is looking like. I don't think it looks great under the eyes. I don't think it looks great on the face either. It's just looking really matte and cakey. So maybe my skin is just too dry for this foundation. I mean, it's like collecting around my nose here. It just looks really dry, like around my mouth. My forehead is not doing good. I have a goat here who wants food and attention. All right, 1 second. I'll get you something in a minute. So I'm not sure. Right now, this is not a win for me. It's just, I think I just don't have the skin type. Quite honestly, I thought by the 4 hours that my natural oils would come through. It would look a lot more natural glowy, but it's just looking more and more matte. It looks more matte than it does on application. Thank you. So that's where I'm at right now. We'll see where the next 4 hours takes me, but Jesus. But I think that this is just a foundation that I need to test out more. I didn't powder, so that's not contributing to this foundation looking matte at all. Even the like cream products that I used, I don't know, it's not doing my skin any favors right now. So we're just gonna see where the next 4 hours takes me. I'm going to be inserting in some swatches, and I will see you all at the end of my day. It is the end of the day. It's been close to 9 hours, and I have a lot of thoughts on this foundation concealer hybrid pen. First things first, let's just talk about the component, because I talked about this when I applied it, about how you can't really turn it on and off, but I take that back. I'm just an idiot. It does click, so you just have to twist it hard. I don't know if you can hear it. So now when you press it, nothing comes out. I just wasn't twisting it hard enough. So I take back what I said about that. I really do like the component. I like that there's a window here so you can see how much product there is. I like that because they're advertising it as a concealer foundation, there's almost half a fluid ounce in here. I recently reviewed the Huda Beauty Glowish Sheer Concealer. I'll link that video above. And they also advertise it as a no makeup and use it all over the face, but there's only 10 milliliters of product. It's very small. It's like an average concealer size. So I don't see the purpose or point or want to use that all over my face. It wouldn't really last you any amount of time. This, however, would. Now, in my check-in, I was not really liking the foundation, and this is how I wanted it to look at the 4 hour mark. Now my natural oils are coming through and it looks a lot better. I think part of the reason that I wasn't liking it at the 4 hour check-in is one, I think my skin's just drier than usual. I really am like a normal leaning dry, and I think right now I'm just dry. Winter's kind of over, it's getting hotter. So I don't think that this is good for dry skin. Second thing is, when I did my check-in before I went outside, I looked in the bathroom mirror, and I think that maybe that just messed with my head a little bit, because the mirror in my bedroom here, it looks totally fine. All other mirrors, it looks good. Just in the bathroom, it's just like notorious bathroom lighting. I don't think it was doing me any favors. I will say that it still is kind of just gathering around my glasses. If you don't have glasses, you don't have to worry about that. So I wouldn't say that it's transfer proof like they claim, but it is looking a lot more natural. It is a medium coverage. I don't necessarily love like medium to full coverages. This is teetering too much coverage for me, so that's also throwing me off. I just don't hate it as much as I did 4 hours ago, because 4 hours ago, I was like, I can't wait for this day to be over. I'm not liking how this is looking, and it looks just a lot better. It's not breaking down too much. It's wearing down fairly naturally. Like you can see on my chin a little bit, like some wear down, also like around my lip and forehead. But for the most part, I would say that this is a natural wear down. I'm going to test this, of course, a little bit more and just get better thoughts on it, and then come back and just give more detailed thoughts compared to other foundations. I'll link my ranking foundation playlist above, because I always do that so you don't just go off of a first impression. A lot of the times thoughts can change on foundations, so I always find that really helpful. There's a few ways that I just want to test this out. Maybe with more of a hydrating primer, so I'm not getting that really matte looking feeling right in the beginning and getting more of this finish towards the end. And also I just want to test it with powder. I don't think powder is going to work for it, but I do just want to test it with powder. My inkling is that this is best for oily skin, normal leaning oily combination. I don't think that you're going to like this if you're especially super, super dry. Other than that, I think that this will be an okay foundation concealer. Now, as far as the hybrid of the two, I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I'm curious to see if other brands start to do something like this, where it's just like a very travel-friendly, all-in-one kind of product. It doesn't look bad under my eyes. I just feel like my face is just a little bit flat. I don't really highlight too much with concealer, but I like a little bit of highlighting underneath my eyes. I do go a little bit lighter. So you could either solve that with like a white translucent brightening powder under the eyes to get that effect, or I think that the way that I'm gonna go next time I try this is to put my color corrector underneath my eyes to just kind of cancel out that darkness first before going in with this, and then also apply like a brightening powder on top to still give like that highlighting effect. But those are kind of just my thoughts on this product here. A lot better than it was 4 hours ago. I'll say that just again because it really was going downhill fast for me, and I'm happy to say that I don't feel like I completely wasted my money so far. I'm excited to test this out and try it more and just see if I can make it work for me. I think that the packaging is really innovating. I really actually like this packaging quite a bit. It is the solve to the dropper problem. A lot of my favorite foundations that are really runny, brands put them in these dropper style applicators, and it's my least favorite, but I always love those foundations the most. This is perfect. I really like this component a lot. I like the size of it. There's no reason, honestly, for me at least, or people with larger collections, to have 1 fluid ounce of product. I think that it would be really nice if more brands did like Giorgio Armani did half a fluid ounce, or just a component like this. That's all that I have for you today though. Hopefully the swatches were helpful. Make sure you let me know down below in the comments if you picked this up, if you plan on picking this up, or if it just didn't interest you anymore. MAC is like hit or miss. I feel like some people are diehard MAC fans, some people are not, and it's just an easy pass for them. But I thought this was a really cool product that they came out with, and I wanted to give it a shot. But let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.